your alarm goes off. You wake up already running. Coffee, kids, traffic, messages. You are barely fully awake, and your mind is already building a list. Remember this. Do not forget that. I must finish this today. I hope that does not go wrong. I need to reply to that person. Before you even reach your desk, you have already gone through many future situations in your head. What you must do. What you might forget. What could go wrong. What needs attention first. Feels normal, responsible, adult, like you are being prepared. But here's what most people do not realize. Those early morning thought loops are not just planning. They're direction setting. Your first repeated thoughts of the day choose the emotional position you will operate from for the next several hours. One pressure thought calls another pressure thought. One worry invites supporting worries. Your mind starts connecting problems to problems. Very quickly, your thinking builds a stack. Then your body joins the stack. Faster heartbeat, tighter shoulders, shorter breath. Now you say the day is stressful. But the stress momentum started before the day even began. Wait, this is not blame. This is power. Because if momentum builds automatically, it can also be redirected deliberately. Most people try to fix their emotional state later in the day when the pressure already feels big. By then, the mental snowball is already halfway down the hill. It feels heavy and hard to stop. But at the top of the hill, the snowball is small and easy to reshape. That is why morning awareness matters more than mental control. You do not need to control every thought. You only need to notice the direction of your repeating thoughts. Let us make this simple and practical. Tomorrow morning when you wake up and notice the first wave of, I have 2 thoughts, pause for a short moment. Do not fight the thoughts. Do not judge yourself. Just notice them. Then ask one question. What emotional state are these thoughts building right now? Pressure, rush, fear, tightness, maybe. Mild anxiety. Good. Awareness achieved. Awareness is steering power. Now comes the adjustment. Not positive pretending. It's not fake motivation, just softer direction. You keep the same subject but change the emotional tone of the sentence. Instead of saying in your mind, I have too much to do today, say I will handle what is in front of me step by step. Instead of I cannot forget that meeting, say I will remember what matters. Instead of this day is going to be heavy, say I will move steady through this day. Same reality, different emotional signal. This is what the Abraham teaching is pointing to when it talks about emotional guidance. It is not asking you to deny your responsibilities. It is teaching you to adjust your emotional starting point before momentum grows. There is a larger part of you that is not rushed, not panicked, not behind. You can call it your deeper self, your inner being, your source connection. That part of you holds a steady view of your path and your capabilities. But you only hear that steadier signal when your mental noise is lower. Think about how sleep works. You cannot force sleep. If you try hard to sleep, you stay awake. The more effort you use, the more alert you become. Sleep comes when you relax your thoughts and allow your mind to soften. Alignment works the same way. It is not mental pushing, it is mental easing. You're not trying to think less, you're trying to think gentler. Gentler thoughts produce steadier emotions. Steadier emotions produce clearer decisions. Clearer decisions produce better timing and better outcomes. Now let us talk about why thoughts build so fast. There is a universal principle at work that responds to focus. When you think a thought, more thoughts like it come more easily. It's not because the world is against you or for you, but because matching patterns group together. Attention gathers similar attention. That means your first emotional direction in the morning is like choosing which lane your mind will keep traveling in. If you start in the pressure lane, more pressure thoughts become easier to think. If you start in the steady lane, more steady thoughts become easier to think. This is also how beliefs are formed. A belief is only a thought you keep thinking, nothing more complicated than that. Repetition builds certainty. Certainty feels like truth. But it started as repeated focus. So you do not need to fight your old beliefs. You build new ones by repeating better-feeling thoughts often enough that they gain momentum. Let us keep this grounded in your morning routine. You are brushing your teeth. Your mind starts listing problems. You notice tension rising. That is your signal. Not failure. Signal. You say quietly to yourself, I am choosing a steadier start. Today, I move one thing at a time. Today, I respond instead of rush. You just redirected momentum at the top of the hill. You might ask, will this really change anything practical? Yes, because your emotional state affects what you notice. How you speak, how you decide, and how you time your actions. When you are in pressure mode, you miss helpful ideas. When you are steadier, you catch them. You have experienced this before. There are days when things just flow. You choose the right order of tasks without overthinking. You send a message at the right time. You meet the right person unexpectedly. Most people call this luck, but it is receptive mental state plus guided action. Your deeper self is always offering helpful impulses, but impulses feel quiet. Pressure is loud. When your mind is noisy with worry, you cannot hear guidance clearly. When your mind is steadier, guidance feels obvious. This is not mystical. It is functional. Another important point, you are not expected to hold perfect thoughts all day. You are human. You will drift. You will worry sometimes. That is fine. What matters is how quickly you notice and redirect. Quick, gentle correction beats harsh self-criticism every time. Do not say, I am doing this wrong. Say, I am steering again. The teaching says, you are launching desires all day. Every time you know what you do not want, you also define what you do want. The expanded version of your life is always forming ahead of you. Your job is not to force it into reality. Your job is to keep your emotional direction cooperative so you can meet it more easily. That cooperation begins with daily thought habits, especially morning thought habits. If you want a simple 3-step morning practice, use this. First, notice your first repeated thought pattern. Second, name the emotion it is building. Third, soften the sentence. Notice, name. Soften. That is enough to change your direction. You are not behind in life. You are not bad at manifesting. You are not missing the secret. You are simply never taught that your first thoughts of the day are steering signals, not background noise. The next 3 days are powerful, not because something magical is arriving from outside, but because awareness plus repetition builds new mental momentum quickly. 3 mornings of deliberate emotional steering can change your baseline state for the week, not through force, through direction. You do not need to become someone new. You only need to begin your day from a steadier sentence. Start there. Stay gentle. Build forward. You will feel the difference before you see the difference. That is how you know you are moving in the right direction.